We are good to go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Bookshelf Lunchtime Live. One in an occasional series where we sit down and just shoot the breeze about what's happening in the world. And today we have much to discuss. I met a very nice lady today at my local coffee shop, Café du Journal. How appropriate that is. This place is stuffed full of books and nice staff, and it's kind of low-key. You wouldn't know you were there. I mean, I know I'm there, but you wouldn't know I'm there. Anyway, the point is, it's a very nice coffee shop, and I always meet nice people. It's run by a really great guy called Chris. And a lady came up. Actually, it was quite a strange thing, and I'm sorry to say this. There were two groups of women sitting outside, and one of them I think I knew, and I was waving at her, and then one group in front started waving, saying, "Hey," and then I thought we were all waving, so I just covered them all with one big wave. And then one of the ladies came up as I was walking up the street saying, "Can we have a photograph?" She had been to the show in Limerick, to the Bookshelf Live, and she wanted, and she loved it. That was the one with the Blind Boy. Do you follow Blind Boy on Instagram? Did you see him doing his music and his head going into the thing? I don't understand music as much as his music, but it's really good. So she was there. I think she said her name was Mary. That was lovely. And then I was coming in here to the studio, and I met this lovely family I hadn't seen for many years, the Canaan family, and they were just lovely. But I was nearly late, but I'm not, because I'm here and we're on time. Questions, welcome. Thoughts, welcome. Recommendations, welcome. Let me tell you where I'm going tonight. I've been a year waiting for the Odyssey to land in cinemas. It'll be opening on Friday officially, but there's a little showing tonight at the IFI, so I'm going to go along, and I'm really excited. It's an amazing story. It's got to be one of the big movies of the year, and it's epic in every sense, properly epic, and hopefully it's really good. I'm a little nervous because my expectations are quite high. I'm feeling very excited about this. So here's hoping it's going to be really excellent, and I'll report back to you the next time we gather here as a group. I did go and see Toy Story 5 last week. Why are you laughing? This was huge fans. Have either of you, Tom or Aidan, seen Toy Story 5? Yes or no? Not yet? Not yet. Okay. Well, let me tell you about it because you haven't seen it. This was a beautiful experience. I loved it. I went with my tiny daughter who's 21, and I said to her, "Please," and she was like, "You're." She didn't say this, but I know her well enough to know you're a lunatic. Yeah, it's sunny, like it's 29 degrees outside. You want to go at 5:00 with me? I said, yeah. And okay then, the two of us went. I was happy just to be in her company as I was to be watching the film. Toy Story 5 is hilarious. It's so sweet. Do you know what they do? They take on the devices. So the devices are there. They find some old devices that are kind of like dodgy, what do you call pixelated, really rubbishy ones. One of which is one of his Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien does the voice for, it's like a potty training device, right? And the really bad pixelations on it. And it says, and like one stage there's like loads of Buzz Lightyears. You'll know when you see it. And somebody turns around to the Conan O'Brien potty training toy and says, "Gosh, there's loads of them. How many do you think there are? Maybe 50." He said, "I don't know. I can only count to 2," because he's in toilet training. So anyway, I did enjoy Toy Story 5. Yeah, exactly. You got that, Tom. You can only count to 2 because he's toilet training. It was, come on. Anyway, it's a wonderful film. I loved it, and I really like that. I'm going to recommend that strongly. But like I say, it's all about the Odyssey tonight for the latest one. Hey, do you know who I interviewed last week for Times Radio, which will come out in a couple of weeks' time? Andy Serkis. He of Gollum and Caesar from Planet of the Apes. And they've done a new reworking of Animal Farm, the George Orwell. By the way, we'll talk about short books later again, but I did a post yesterday of short books for people who want to get back on the reading bus. I didn't include Animal Farm. Animal Farm, one of the greatest allegories of all time. It reminded me of knowing a lot of people in college when I was there 100 years ago who were like flying the red flag and, let's go commie. And then they made their money, and then they're in the big house, the big car, and it's going, every pig wants to be a farmer. So Animal Farm, read that book. Read it young, so you can stamp out your cynicism nice and early and just realise that's the way the world crumbles cookie-wise, as the man said. But so he's done that version of it. I was thrilled to ask him because he was really engaging as a chatter. And obviously we were talking about animals as allegory. So you have Animal Farm for communist Russia. You have Caesar, the ape, for for power and what we do with it. And equally, you have Narnia, Aslan, who's like Jesus, and the whole lot. So that's all that. No, but honestly, he's sacrificed and he comes back to life. So all that stuff. C.S. Lewis was a very Christian sort of a person by all accounts, and that makes sense. But I said to him, Andy, now we've done all the esoteric stuff. Why do the women in my life fancy Caesar? And he's going, what? He's burst out laughing. What? I said, honestly, the women in my life who I love and adore both came out of Planet of the Apes. We're a real Planet of the Apes house, by the way. We love all iterations of it. They both came out going, geez, he's a bit hot, isn't he? I said, the monkey. Yep. The monkey, like not Julius Caesar from from a movie. No, the monkey. You fancy the chimp. Well, he's just got the Rizz. The monkey has the Rizz. Yes, the monkey Rizz. He's a chimpanzee. Sorry, a little over here. How about that? So the Rizz monkey is running around going, oh, and then but he's on a horse with guns, and he's like, and then I'm going, what? Stop saying Rizz. Sorry, stop saying Rizz monkey. There's something wrong with that too. Sorry, charisma. He's a charismatic chimp. He's a charismatic chimp, and he has, it seems, what it takes. And I said to Andy Serkis, who is Caesar in the movie, why do you think the women fancy the ape? And he said, because he's a good listener. I said, I think it's a bit more than I think they thought Caesar was a bit ripped, which makes me feel physically sick. But there you are. That's what it was. Then we went to see War of the Apes, and the comment that came to me after that was, what did you think of that ape who was the kind of replacement for Caesar? And she said, yeah, he was pretty good, but I thought Caesar was more attractive. Okay, that's enough. We're done with Caesar from Planet of the Apes being attractive. Now, if you want to send in animals on screen you found attractive, don't. That's what I'll say. We're not going there today. So that's just a few things that I found quite distracting. Now, what have I been reading? Well, speaking of Caesar, this is Robert Harris's new book. Robert Harris did the Cicero trilogy, Lustrum, and the, crikey, I can't remember the name of them. Lustrum, you know them, and the Robert Harris. Dictator was the third one, and it'll come to me /Aidan. I'll just see if I could do it in my head without having to ask. Lustrum, Imperium, and Dictator. Oh, I'm pretty chuffed about that now, to be honest with you. So, ChatGPT, goodbye. BookBot will be furious. Agrippa is the name of his new book. That's it. This is just the proof copy of it. I'm showing it if you're watching on YouTube. Power Makes Monsters of Us All. Robert Harris returns to Rome coming August 2026. So it's coming around the mountain. Anyway, finished it the other day. Oh, I just loved it. It was like eating a delicious meal. If I'm into all of this stuff anyway. So Agrippa was really the right-hand man to Augustus, who was the man who took over after Julius Caesar got it in the neck and the back on the Roman Forum when he was assassinated. And he's watching his friend and his rise to power. It's just beautiful. And I'll be interviewing Robert Harris in Galway in Kenny's bookshop. You should come down to that, Aidan. You'd love that. In September, I think it is, or October, one of those months, in some month in the autumn. And it'll be a great event because we did the Maggie O'Farrell event with the Kenny's bookshop not too long ago. And it was a lovely, God, they were the audience, magnificent readers. I suspect there'd be quite a lot of men in the audience for this one. In most book events I do, it's mostly women. But I'd say for this one, it'd probably be a lot more men first. I think Robert Harris seems to have a broader appeal, if you like. Anyway, it's great. It's coming out soon. Get it. If you like Robert Harris, you will love it. I'll tell you what I'm reading in a moment, but I'm going to put on my spectaculars because I need to see what you're saying. Sean, massive fan. Ryan, are you a fan of Blur or Damon Albarn? The answer to that is I'm a fan of the man, but I'm not a massive fan. I've never met him. I don't know him from Adam, but I think his music's great, and I think he's aging really well, and his music is aging really well. So that's about as much as I can say to you. Mint says, if you're a fan of Twin Peaks, yes, you must check out Pines. Okay. Thank you, Blake Crouch. Or is Blake Crouch the name? I don't know, but either way, Pines, I'm writing down. I'm looking for some good recommendations. I'm still going on From, the science fiction one that's based on Lost. Sorry, your parents finished it. That's 3 seasons. Your parents, they stuck with it. Well, if your parents who have produced this magnificent human specimen that is Tom, agree, I can only assume that they're people of discerning taste. And I'm going to finish that. Okay, I'll go back to it. The only problem is I find it's like, okay, go get on with it. But that's probably more me and the old brain racing ahead. But I'll go back to it. So From, F-O-R-O-M. If you liked Lost, I think you'll really enjoy From. That's what I'll say to you. If you hated Lost, don't go near From, essentially. I also went hunting. Did your remote control have the thing where it goes, Agatha Christie, Poirot? You can say it into it. And
I only learned to do that recently.
Oh, it's great.
I can just press the
So
button.
YouTube. Oh,
go through 3 menus to get
oh yeah. So you just go Twilight Zone, and then it comes up saying where the Twilight Zone. Idea for a show. Monkey tennis. So Twilight Zone. Monkey Rizz. We've been through Monkey Rizz. If you're just joining us, you're going to have to spool back to find out what the hell that was about. But Twilight Zone. Why am I doing partridge going Twilight Zone? Jet. Twilight Zone. Is anyway. I love the Twilight Zone. Rod Serling, and he is. So I'm going back to a few of those. My kids were brought. I kind of spoon fed them Twilight Zone, which is why they have lovely, quirky imaginations now, which I think is magnificent. Neve, Ryan, yes, hi Neve. It was great to see you in St. Vincent de Paul charity shop in Dún Laoghaire. Thank you for the selfie. Well, what a lovely. Have we talked about that? Oh, right. Okay, so just to explain, St. Vincent de Paul. I was in the local charity shops in Dún Laoghaire, and I said, the books are just kind of landing in corners and a bit unloved. I'm going to go back one day to one of them and curate them and make some money for the charity shop. So I got into Vincent de Paul. I've been working with them since I was in school, on and off for different things. And I just love the charity because whatever they raise stays local, whether you're in Clifton or Donegal or Cork, it stays local. And the way they help people is so elegant. You just get, you get bills get paid where you're stuck, and electricity gets paid where you can't afford it, and just biscuits in a press if you can't, or turf on the fire, whatever it is, coal. They're just brilliant at what they do, and they're very discreet. And then a lot of people get involved, or they fall into the Vincent de Paul. They need the VDP, and then they get up on their feet, and then they give back again. That's why I love it. So I went to the local Vincent de Paul, and they said, yeah, come on in. The head office got involved. And we had a lovely 3 or 4 hours there one Friday afternoon. And thank you to Viv Pembry, who people will remember from Green's Bookshop once upon a time. He very kindly came back. I used to help him out doing Christmas food lunches once upon a time years ago. And he said, well, it's my turn to pay back. So it was lovely, full circle. And we met loads of people. There was a queue out the door. Everyone came in and bought loads of books and did photographs. The staff were amazing, and thank you to Noel and everyone there. We're going to do it again. I'd love to do it again. Thinking of Clifton, I went in and saw their shop there recently, and it gives me an excuse to get back to Connemara. Okay, as if I need an excuse, but there you are. Another says, hi Ryan, Toy Story 5 was an absolute joy. You know what? It really was. And the funny thing is, I haven't seen glowing reviews for it, but I'm giving a glowing review for it. I just thought it was great, so I'm glad you agree with that. Another... Terence, Ryan, I ran into in Bewley's. I look for your reading suggestions. You have an 80% success rate, which is solid. Terence, I'm going to take offence to that. No, I'm not at all. Was that you sitting beside me? You the American guy yesterday when I was meeting my sister for coffee. There was an American man sitting beside me, and I was in the waiting area in Bewley's, and I was doing some photographs with 2 different people, and then the third said, oh sure, look, if you're doing them, I'll take one. I said, well, you don't have to. No, I know. No, but some people. I remember the first time I was ever asked for an autograph, and I was kind of in my life, must have been about 23 or 4, and a woman came up. It was the most Irish request for an autograph. I was outside the National Concert Hall. I went to see Looney Tunes with an orchestra. Please do that again, nch.ie. And this woman came up, and I was sitting there with my nephew, and she came, and she had the piece of paper in hand, and she threw it down, and she went, I suppose you better throw your name down on that. And that was her way of saying, could I have your autograph, please? And I went, wow, okay. Do you want one or not? Or sorry, am I filling out a check or what? Anyway, nice to see you yesterday. 80% strike rate isn't bad, because book reviews are always going to be complicated. And, some people will say, God, you will love this. And I just don't. So let's keep going. Elsewhere, Ryan, really enjoying London Falling. Oh, Sheena, you're in business. Fantastic non-fiction about the rise of corruption through the 80s, 90s, 2000. Sheena in Kildare. Well, I was recommending that a lot. I think it's my book of the year so far. Would you agree with that, Aidan? Did you listen to it rather than read it? You listened to it. Okay, so if Patrick Radden Keefe, if you don't have time to read, or you're traveling a lot, commuting and stuff like that, this gets a thumbs up from Aidan, which is great. I loved it. He writes non-fiction. I think you were saying that there, Sheena. He writes non-fiction like I think a novelist writes a brilliant drama. So I think it's easily one of my books of the year. He seems like a charming man too. I haven't met him yet. We're hoping to get him in at some stage. But yeah, that's all good. So that's called London Falling by Patrick Radden Keefe, the man who brought the world. What did he bring the world? Say nothing. Get in the car. Say nothing. And he also brought Empire of Pain about OxyContin and all that stuff. Okay, just taking a little break to wipe my glasses. Thank you. Moving on. Katie. Oh, Katie. She's one of the greatest readers that I know, and she is in London. Hopefully, I presume that's right. That Robert Harris proof is tabbed. Yes. What makes you tab books, or is it a reminder for when you interview them? That's interesting. You spotted that. These little tabs. Yeah. So what it is that's very well spotted, I have to say. I'm impressed. I had the same with Maggie O'Farrell's. So okay, let me explain the tab. Some people love sport, and they're saying watching a soccer match, and they see a run in the game. You know, might be a header onto somebody else who volleys it into the back of the net, or it could be a tennis, and they go, wow, Sinner's shot there was amazing. Could be a golf hole in one. I see that the way I read books the way people watch sport. So I'll be reading going, this is a great match, And then I go, oh, look at that. Bang. That's my version of a goal or a great shot. And if I'm going to be interviewing, as you rightly say, if I'm going to be interviewing somebody, I want to say, God, that shot you took there on that, that corner was amazing. So you're dead right. These are little moments in the book where I go, oh, that's a lovely line, or that's really relevant, or I'd love to ask him about that. So I don't tab all my books because I'm not interviewing all the authors. But sometimes for this one, I will do it to see, what in the hell I can talk to Robert Harris about. Now, I'll always be able to talk to Robert Harris about anything, but this one is a bit different. These days, you cannot be one and not the other. Politics is warfare in civilian clothes. Well, actually, speaking of which, Anne Widdecombe comes to mind because she was killed, as you know, last weekend, and we all woke up to the news saying, I mean, if you're of a certain age, you'll know who Anne Widdecombe was. And how big she was, a big figure in politics. And then some of you will know her from Strictly Come Dancing in the UK, yeah. And actually, I met her once on a bus when I was following. I went over to follow for radio. I followed two campaigns, William Hague and Tony Blair, for a day each. And it was fascinating. So on the Hague bus, he was running for office that time against Tony Blair, were a few politicians, including Anne Widdecombe. And she was sitting in the seat in front of me. And I said, okay, I'll give this a go. And I had my RTE little microphone thing. And I said, hello, my name's Ryan Tubridy. I'm from RTE. And I put the microphone. She said, and it was funny. She said, RTE, Radio Telefishern. How lovely. And that's what I remember, is that she was able to say Radio Telefishern, which wasn't written on the... And I thought, okay, that's interesting. I mean, it doesn't make her a hero. It certainly doesn't make me a superstar. But I thought it was very, very interesting. And... that she got that. It always stayed with me. But then we realized she hadn't just died. I presume she had died naturally or from a heart attack. Turns out she was killed. Then it got more complicated because they said could have been a burglary or something. Now we still don't know at time of recording. Is it terrorism? Either way, it's horrible. And the big debate in the UK at the moment is about security for politicians and how unsafe they feel. Now, I don't know how much that applies in Ireland. I know a lot of public figures can get abuse and hostility certainly on the street, but I don't think it's turned into violence just yet. With any luck, it won't. But certainly in the UK, it's a febrile atmosphere. Moving on to thanks for all your comments. It's great to have. They're all working away there, Aidan, are they? They're all commenting in. Gemma says, "How are you handling the sweaty nights?" I am not. Gemma, if I told you how I was handling the sweaty nights, I think A, we should be shut down by the authorities. B, the picture I would give in your head would be enough to make you probably physically sick. And C, my feeling is that the nation has suffered enough, and I wouldn't possibly explain to you how I'm coping with the hot nights. Suffice to say, my BER rating in my little house is not good. It's not good. It's not even that old a house. It's just not good. So yeah, I've nothing to say. I've nothing. Just use your imagination. It's as bad as that. All right, we move on. Next question. Juliet. Lots of debate online about the new Netflix Little House on the Prairie series compared to the books. I enjoyed the new version. Slow start, good ending. Okay, my only knowledge of Little House on the Prairie is it was always on TV when I was a kid, at home, always. And it was never particularly discussed because I don't think anyone watched it. It was just on. Now, Laura Ingalls comes to mind, and I remember all the actors, and now I look at them and go, that ancient man is now me. which is always a bit disturbing because he's my age. And then I remember running down what's called Kleiny Hill in Dublin. And whenever my dad said, I'll drive down, you run down the hill. And at the end of Little House on the Prairie, she's running down. So we used to pretend we were Laura Ingalls running down with the arms flailing like windmills. And then a pause, screen, freeze frame. So that's about as much as I know. Secondly, I know they've done an updated version, and the debate that you're referring to seems to be saying that they've gone all woke. Thirdly, read Yesteryear, my other favourite book of the year by Claire Caro Burke, which tells you, which looks at trad wife and says, it kind of writes, do you really want to go back to that time? Do you think that was a beautiful time? Try being a woman back in Little House on the Prairie time. It wasn't pretty and it wasn't easy. So I love all that challenge. So yes, I'm up for the debate for sure, but I won't watch a minute of it. I couldn't bear it. Could you? Could you watch Little House on the Prairie? I couldn't. I mean, if I was interviewing one of the actors from it, I'd have to watch it. I could find myself really enjoying it. But I'm being a bit obnoxious by saying I'm not going to watch a minute of it, whereas we've just been hearing it's good. Is it good or not? That's the other question. I just don't know. Did the world want an updated? I'm not sure. Sniff says, hello, Ryan, from Jamie in Northamptonshire. Love your podcast. What are you doing in Northamptonshire? What's your line of business? What are you up to? Sweet Leaf Bay, lovely person. I love Poirot. A beautiful day here in Monaster Boys. Best wishes to all. And SVP is in Dunleer. So thank you for that. Lovely to hear from you. And another from Marie says, Ryan, Opening Night by Sarah Baum's just published book. Opening Night is a searingly honest account of the friendship between two artists that really makes you value this gift. Very moving. Thank you for that, Paul. Ryan, do you ever stop to Google something when you're reading? It's a pet peeve of mine, but I can't help myself. You do it all the time. Tom, you do it all the time. Yeah, no, I don't. I tell you what it is. I need to be when I'm reading, I need to be in a run. Does that make sense? I need to go. I can't start, read, phone up, ChatGPT, Google. That would put me off. I would be too staccato. I need a flow. I need 20 minutes, half an hour. That's about as much time as I can give, and then I'll come back to you later on. But I need a flow, so I do try to stay away, to be honest with you, from my phone when I'm reading, because it's just too distracting. Perhaps afterwards I might do. Now, one knobby thing I do, which is really, and I don't do it often, but there are times. I was reading, say, Louise Penny book, and it was all based around monks in Canada, and it was Gregorian chant. And I put on some Gregorian chant. What? And it really added to it. Once it's not lyrics, if I can hear the songs, I'm competing with the words on the page. But if it's just, I'm going, yeah, I'm in this place. It kind of feels cool and crackly and, drops falling from the vaulted ceilings. I've just lost the room. Okay, we'll keep going. Lots more. The two lads are trying to step out of the room. We're going in reverse. Another says, I like a book in my hand, but I get distracted, so now I read along while listening and using the library in Boston to buy $1 secondhands, saving the euro for when I travel home to buy Irish authors. I like that. It's how well thought out. But I found in the charity shops, lads, get to your local charity shop. You'd be shocked the amount of value you will get there for like cheapest chips. Definitely go there. Highly recommend it. Killian, Ryan, yes, it was great to meet you in Galway after your show. Thank you. And likewise, I was wondering if you have any contemporary fiction recommendations. Well, I really would recommend anything by Robert Harris, to be honest with you. His Cicero trilogy is pure joy. Act of Oblivion, I absolutely loved. I just say that because it's in my hand now. What I am reading now, I love crime fiction as well. And this landed in my letterbox. I'm a fan of Joe Spain as a person, and I hadn't read one of hers for a while. I don't know why. But I picked this up called Never to Be Found. And so she explains in the book, in Japan, I don't know how to pronounce the word, so I'm not going to try. There's a thing, you can Google it if you wish, whereby you pay somebody to say, I'm done, get me out of here, and you can be disappeared. So you take everything with you, but no one knows where you're gone again. No one knows where you're gone. So you just choose to just go, I don't want to be anywhere. I don't want to be near these people. So the character in this book is one of the people who facilitates these people who want it, like an agency. So what she does is she disappears somebody, and then a detective comes and knocks on her door and says, the person who disappeared, we need to get him. And she goes, well, I know how to get him. So they're searching for the guy she disappeared, but they can't find him. So it's a really interesting, it's really well put together, and I'm enjoying it.
You can have it done.
You can have it done where?
In Japan.
In Japan.
Between, it's quite a range,
how much?
450 to 2,600 $600.
$600,000.
Secret agencies known as night movers to help you disappear.
Night movers to help you disappear. No, it's not fiction. This is what the point of it. So she obviously, Joe obviously heard about this and said, "Oh, that's a great idea for a book." So she was right. So I must say, I'm finding it's a real page turner. As I said earlier on Instagram, if you're packing a bag, put this in it. It's a great one for your holidays. If you got it do you think it's cheap for 600 grand to get disappeared? Yeah. See,
No, 2,600.
sorry, 2,600.
Yeah,
Sorry,
$50.
two.
The packages are
Yeah, sorry. Does it depend on who you are? Like,
around the block.
disappear me to Bray. Like, there has to be a subscription. It's a subscription, Tom. It's a subscription, and it's one you can't cancel. And you go, "I want to go back to the gang now." No, the subscription can't be cancelled. Stay where you are. But I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in Bray. I mean, there's nothing against Bray. I love Bray. But I'm just saying, I don't want to be in Bray. I know where you're talking. No, but you don't want to get disappeared to. I'm not saying I'll be happy to be disappeared to Bray. I asked to be sent to Bray for 1,200 quid. I'll go to, like, do you say, like, you can go to Clifton for 3,000 or Bray for 1,200? How does it work? Joe, if you're watching, how does it work? What's the scale? Evan says, Ryan, glorious and hungover from Albufeira. Okay, well, you're just flexing. And that's fair enough. You're on your holidays. You're allowed to be glorious and hungover on your holidays. Why wouldn't you be? And I hope you're having a great time. Loads of beer. I tell you, I'm a devil for an IPA now, lads. It's not really obnoxious. Do you like the old? I love a hazy sesh beer. I don't want too strong. I don't want to be. I love Irish beer. There's so much of it.
Yeah.
Big fan. Big fan. Louise says, your obituary to Sam Neill is very touching. It's sad to hear of his passing. So I'm doing this obituary show. So we did one for Bonnie Tyler and we have Sam Neill. And like most news organizations have an obituary set up so that in the event of someone passing away, I should say, they'll have something ready to go. So that's sort of a side project. So if in the event that somebody dies and we have an obituary ready to go, I'll put it up on Instagram, but you can find it on YouTube. And the Sam Neill piece is there. There's a guy called Ross who works with me. He does these beautiful scripts for the over the pictures, and they're so meaningful and so well written and thought out that I'm enjoying working with him on that. It's called Life with Ryan Tubridy, or there's kind of, it can be called The Late Show as well, but I think it's Life more is the one you'll get it under. We'll be fixing that up and mainstreaming it in due course. But so that's it. Thank you for that, Louise. Another says, would you recommend reading the Louise Penny books all in one go or staggering them? I'm currently on number 11 and I don't know whether to space them out or just devour them. Very good question. So Louise has 20 books. You're on number 11. Stop. That's my advice. Stop reading, take a break, and treat yourself. You can't have 12 Mars bars in a row. Do you know what I mean? So just stop, have a cracker, slice of a Black Forest Gatto, whatever you're having. Actually, a woman called Rachel brought in 6 mini Black Forest Gattos to the SVP the other day. And like, how nice. She says, I know they're your favorite. You don't like a Black Forest? Oh, yeah. The cherry. And they're quite dated. I think people think we're very old-fashioned. Louise says, I love a good thriller, Ryan. Currently reading James Patterson books. Any other recommendations for books like these? And loved the show in the Olympia. Thanks for being there. We loved that too. I think you would love, I think you should try buying some Irish thrillers because there's so many of them. And it's good to support our own. You just go with that Joe Spain book, go with any Liz Nugent, Andrea Mara. They're all in that zone. And in fact, probably better than some of them. So definitely, that's what I would recommend. For sure. There's plenty of them. Kim, have you read any of the Frida McFadden books? They're amazing. Do you know what? I haven't, being honest with you. That's The Housemaid and things like that. I noticed that they are, and among, to check the time there, I noticed that they are amongst the most biggest selling books in the world at the moment, but I haven't read any of them. Would you recommend? That's the next question. Joan, Joe's been on. You just need train fare to disappear to Bray. So Joe's watching. Joe, well done. You just got us talking. So it's the train fare. So I'll disappear for approximately €4. I can be disappeared from Dún Laoghaire to Bray, which is, how much is the train? Don't tell me. It costs more €10 to get from Dún Laoghaire to Bray. Tom, on the Dart? No. I have an Oyster card. Yeah, so I've got, it will. Oh, so not always card. I meant a Leap card. Oh no. Oh, I made a balls of that. Oh, God damn it. That was a mistake. That was a slip. I can't help it. Where are you living these days, Ryan? I don't know. No, I do. If you are wondering, can I tell you, I'm in London 2 days a week tops, mostly. So, because people go, I don't know where he is. I do a radio show on Times Radio there, and then we also have Onic, which we love as well, which covers 4 or 5 stations in Ireland on a Sunday between 10 and 12. So that's the crack with all of that. All right, let's take some more. Alvina, that's a nice name. Listening to you from Geneva, originally from Killiney. You once gave me and my siblings a shout out on your 2FM radio show back in the 1890s. Anyway, have got so many good book recommendations from your podcast. Amazing. 80% strike rate? Here's hoping. Henry, Ryan, any nice plans for the rest of the summer? Any recommendations on the best places to holiday in Ireland? Yeah, loads. So I've no plans for holidays this summer. One little weekend away. I'll go west here and there, but I'm waiting for the autumn to take a holiday because I'm kind of bedding down on my job in Times Radio on a Sunday and different things like that. So I'm holding off a nice big holiday. If you're coming to Ireland, look, there's just so many places to go. My personal favourite is the west of Ireland. I go to Connemara. Any part of it is lovely. Look it up. Get there. You can head to Spittle and Inverin and Carrow and Cosla, and then out towards Roundstone and Ballyconneely and Clifton and Claddaduff and beautiful, all of it there, Cleggan, and then out to the islands, to Inishbofin and beyond. So it's there for you. And then, of course, if you want to go further down to West Cork, is also a very popular spot. Kerry, Dingle, all very popular parts of the country, up to Donegal, Falcarra, and so on. So you'll never be bored in Ireland. I promise you. There's so much to do. So get over here. You're going to have the time of your life. Alvina wants to know, have you read As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow? It's about Syria. No, I have not read that, but thank you for the recommendation. Another, Tubbers, yes. You recommended a book some weeks ago. You said it was the first book in some time that made you cry. A female author, I think. Can you remember what it was? I can. It was Elizabeth Strout. But the name, it was one of those names, book names that I will never remember. It's like, all that we don't say, or I cannot. It's just that those names that just I can't. I never remember it. But here it is. Aidan has looked it up for me, and he'll tell us that it's called. It's called Timing is Everything. No, it's not. No, that's just him commenting. It's something like the things we cannot say. The things we never say. The things we never say by Elizabeth Strout. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Go for that. Leslie says, The Steps by Giuliano Zaffino. I cannot speak highly enough about it. Just selected for Florence Welch's book club. Florence, published by Tramp Press. Thank you. Sorry, is that Florence in the Machine? Is she doing book club as well? Crikey, good on her. Because the big one is Leinster House. Sorry, Leinster House. The big one is, I was just thought I had to talk about that, is Dua Lipa. Sorry, Leinster House does a book club. Sorry, Dua Lipa does a book club. I'm glitching in the system. It's the heat, lads. What would be the book of the week for Leinster House? Don't start us. But I was in Leinster House last week because of Senator Aubrey McCarthy. Brilliant guy. He was a co-founder of a charity called Tiglin. That's Tiglin. Donate if you can. And they just help people who are in addiction and who are in homeless situation and get them back on their feet and bring them back to society and their families. Amazing. So he invited myself and Claire for dinner along with Niall and Gillian Quinn. Niall, of course, the mighty Quinn from Italian 90, but also Gillian, the mighty Gillian, because her research is fascinating that she did for her research and academic endeavours, where she was looking at the transition for sporting heroes back into normal civilian life and the trouble that goes with it and the amount of hassle there is and the addiction and loneliness. And yeah, very interesting. So a great conversation and some very interesting people at the table. It kind of reminded me of when public service goes right. That's why I loved it. And Aubrey's he was a great facilitator of conversation and ideas. So we had a great time. And we got in to see a bit of one of the debates. Mary Lou was talking. Jerry Adams came out to say hello, of all people. And who else was there? Verona Murphy, the Count Corla, she's fab. And yeah, so it was a great old trip. And I'm delighted we went there. So thank you for that, Aubrey. Brilliant. Great. Ryan Neal says, Ryan, we read The Things We Never Say by Elizabeth Strout. Read it recently. A great read. Well, now, isn't that just a coincidence that you're talking about that and I'm talking about that and now we're all winning? Okay. Anything else to say before I say goodbye? This Sunday on Times Radio, we'll be playing my interview with J.K. Simmons of Whiplash fame. He was interesting, I must say. I liked him. And Dave Griffith is on. Bit late in, but I had to run out for a 99. Now let's talk about the 99 for a second. I went up to this Joker to get it in. Normally I go to Teddy's in Dunleary, but I wasn't near there at the time. And I went to this guy, let's just say in Dublin, and very nice fella, young lad behind the counter. And he said, ice cream. I said, can I have an ice cream, but not a 99? I don't like the flake because the flakes are always a little bit stale. I don't like flakes in ice cream. They're stale. They're just, they're off. They're either dry or crumbly. They don't taste good. So I don't, because people always go, it's not, get a flake. I don't want a flake. It's stale. You get a flake. You get a stale flake and put that in your noggin. I don't want it. So you can't, they burn. Yeah, they burn. Flakes are not welcome here. So they are with a cup of coffee in a wrapper, in their yellow packet, their distinctive yellow packaging. Bit messy. Give me a twirl. They've got their compact sorted out. Anyway, back to the point. He gave me a big cone. I call it a cone. I just want a cone. No flake. Just give me a cone. Give me a cone. He said, I said, so that's great. Thanks. Because I didn't really want a flake. And he said, slightly, a little bit lippy. He said, it's the same thing. And I was like, it's not. And he was kind of going, it is. And now suddenly I was going, diddle ding 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 ding, full Larry David. It almost running out going, it's not a flake. You're a flake. This isn't a 99. Somebody said it's an 88. Like, it's just not the same. You can't. So it's been on my mind all week. This guy, this Joker. Yeah, sorry, let it out. Yeah, I don't want to call him out because he's quite big. So I'm sorry about that, but I hope you had your 99. I do love an ice cream. The other thing I wanted to say, what's wrong with me? It's the heat, guys. I can't read what I wrote down to say to you. Oh, Bobby!
Oh, yeah.
Bobby! Bobby's watching. Bobby is 4 today. Bobby, born on the 14th of July. Bon anniversaire, mon ami. There he is. The next generation is safe listening to this, thinking, who is that strange man? And they'll say, he's from the toy show. And they'll go, no, he's not. And you're right, Bobby, because I'm not. It's the new guy now, so it's not me. But so it's very confusing when the parents go, he done the toy show. And I go, no, I don't. It's Patrick now. So it's all anyway. Bobby, happy birthday, my friend. Keep reading books and being brilliant. That's the main thing. Let's go. We're nearly there. Intermezzo, Ryan, might be my book of the year. Really, reading A Rebel and a Traitor now. Oh, I have that. You'd love it. Thank you, Roisin. Looking forward to Land and Yesteryear and The Calamity Club. Well, I've read Land, which I loved, read Yesteryear, which I really loved, and I didn't read The Calamity Club, but Claire, my other half, read it, and she swears by it. She really loved it, so that's That's one for you. Oh, by the way, Dave did get a 99. Got one with a flake, so I guess I'll just eat yours. Yeah, you enjoy that now. And then that. Okay, great. I think we've covered everything we need to cover, bar one thing, which was my sandwich yesterday that I posted online. My sandwich was a Brennan's bread, whole grain slice of, because no, it's the freshest in town. I'm sorry, that's just the fact. Other breads are available, but good luck with that. And I was putting the bread in, and I didn't know what to have one day. And actually, it was Claire said, "Why don't you have peanut butter and why don't you have peanut butter and banana?" And I said, "Why don't you have peanut butter and banana and a flake?" No, I didn't have that. We don't talk like that. But I made.
You're not immature around her, just the ice cream guy.
The flake up. Anyway, so I said, okay. And I put butter, and then I sliced. Obviously, first, no, I didn't put butter. I just put straight on peanut butter. Crunchy only. I want to feel the crunch. And then sliced a really fresh banana on it, put the bread on it. It was delicious. I had another one yesterday. Delicious. I started doing a bit of writing yesterday, friends. First time ever writing a little bit of fiction, which I never thought I'd do, but I'm under the clock now. So I can't say too much more than that, but it was interesting because I was channeling things and stuff started coming out. I was going, oh, I know what I'm going to do. It's quite dark and I was really enjoying it. So we'll come back to you on that. A couple more questions before we say goodbye. Katrina says, I'm heading to the charity shop now for a few books. Do let us know. Am I around? No, I'm not around next week. We'll do this again in a week or two's time. I'll chat to the lads and see, but I want to see what you got in your charity shop. That is great. Denise wants to know, egg, salad, cream, get out. Final question, who's going to win the World Cup? Well, I have drawn Spain. So I did quite well in the family group. Not bad at all. My sister, my eldest sister has England. Yeah. My eldest daughter has France. So I could be up against my eldest for the final, which is quite interesting. That just leaves Argentina, which is with my brother and his wife. So, so obviously we're all in with our shout. But it's funny. Are we all having trouble wondering what to do with the England success, the World Cup? But I just just give it to them. It's more fun when they're in it. No, I don't know. I certainly when I'm knocking around London the day after they win, there's a nice vibe in town, and you just think this is nice for the world. But I know it's complicated. Here's another one from Avril. Ryan Greenheart. She didn't say that. It's an emoji. Listening to in Canberra in Australia. How lovely. I love the Bookshelf podcast. I love peanut butter on my porridge with brown sugar. Yeah, I'm a devil for peanut butter. I love it. So more of that. And I hope life is good for you. I know a lot of the young people are out in Canberra in Australia and they're living the dream. So yeah, that's really nice to hear from you today. Thank you. We say goodbye from here on in. I can tell you that season 5 of the Bookshelf is coming together. We have some cracking names, so stay with us. We'll keep the Bookshelf lunchtime lives going with book recommendations and tales of daring do and what I've been up to and where I'm going, because I know how riveted you are by my stories. In the meantime, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Aidan. Thank you. See you next time.